I've tried many delicious things here in Japan, but my favorite would have to be the gyoza, the Japanese dumpling that's crispy on one side and then steamed on the other side. There's so many different combinations you can make, but I'm going to do a very classic one with a little bit of a Justine twist. First, in a bowl, I'll add a little bit of pork mince. Now, get some fatty pork mince because this will keep the filling really moist. So into a bowl, you could use chicken mince for this, you could even use beef mince, fantastic. Also some mushrooms, this is just some fresh shiitake mushroom that I've finely chopped, along with some fresh cabbage, finely chopped also. The cabbage, once it's steamed, has a completely different taste to fresh cabbage, so that's why I'm adding it, and it goes really well with pork. And then another ingredient that you probably wouldn't find in a gyoza, but I love it because it does keep them really, really tender and soft, is tofu. This is silken tofu, and I've just been pressing it for about 15 to 20 minutes to remove as much moisture as possible. I've also wrapped it in a little bit of paper toweling too. You usually find it in miso soup, but fantastic if you mash it up or puree it. So just as I'm doing here, a few tablespoons in with our pork, and I'll use a fork to mash it up. See how soft it is? And now we need to season this. So I like to add a combination of soy sauce for the salty element, and to balance that, a little bit of sugar, always a little bit of sugar. Japanese cooking, especially with sauces, just a few drops of sesame oil because it is quite strong, and some mirin. Again, a small amount because you don't want it to be really saucy. We'll make a little sauce to go with the gyoza. A little bit of fresh ginger that I'm going to mince straight in. About half a teaspoon is plenty. And a little bit of garlic. About half a clove, these ones are quite large. Fantastic, scrape that off. And then with a fork, mash that up. If you like, you could add a little bit of spring onion too, and that is ready to go. Now the fun part of this is making the gyoza. If you can't find gyoza wrappers, which are a little bit thicker than the classic Chinese wrappers, the wonton wrappers, just use wonton wrappers, round ones preferably, because that's the classic shape of the gyoza. So I'm going to make 6 little gyoza, just enough for me. And in this bowl, this is just a little bit of corn flour, which I'll mix with some water. This is going to be the glue to paste the half moon-shaped dumplings together. I'll use some chopsticks. In Japan, no one uses spoons. They use chopsticks to mix and fry. I need a little bit of practice because I'm not so good at it yet. Okay, that is ready to go. Using a brush, I'll just brush the sides of the gyoza wrappers. I just like to do this straight up, so once we've done that, we don't have to keep going back and forth. And now get about a teaspoon of the mixture. Please don't overfill them because they will split. Wipe your hands and then fold it over, pressing down to close it and seal all that filling in and take out any air bubbles. And that's the first little gyoza done. So I'm going to continue these until I've got 6, and then I'll start frying them. Add a little bit of vegetable oil, medium heat pan, so very carefully in they go. Now these are going to fry for about 2 to 3 minutes until they're lightly golden brown and crispy. And then I'm going to add some water so they steam. Now the trick is to pop the lid on and just allow all that water to steam the top of it, and then you'll see slowly all of that water will evaporate and then they'll become crispy again. Very cool process. Now for my sauce, a little bit of sesame oil in a bowl, along with some soy sauce again, and a pinch of sugar, some rice vinegar, the classic mirin can go into. I'll give that a mix. Beautiful. All right, let's get the gyoza off the heat. Lid can come off. Ooh, they look so good. I love how they shrivel up a little bit, and the best part, crispy. Now, I like to serve this with the sauce on the bottom of the plate, so mix it up and then pour it to form a little pool of delicious vinegary sauce. And then the gyoza, serve on the crunchy side and then just line them up like little soldiers. And then at the markets, I found this gorgeous little baby celery full of flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of that on the top. And there you have it. I can't believe I'm here in Japan making gyoza. I think they're always going to taste a little bit better when you're making it in the country of origin. All right, I'm going to have a little taste. They taste so good, so crunchy and so soft all together in one little package of goodness. You know what? They taste better than any restaurant gyoza, if I do say so myself.